Okay, I have had a couple questions come up about changing colors. So I've gone ahead and done a chain row and 2 rows of single crochet to get us started in the color gray. Now I stopped here before I hit that last single crochet for a reason. So some people, when they want to switch a color, what they will do is take the end of the new color, make that slip knot, and then before they go into the last stitch, remove your marker, you go under and instead of using the color you were just using, you'll tuck it away and hang on to it. And they'll take this color and pull it through. And then because you have 2 loops on your hook, making sure that your bottom tail is tight, you'll continue the single crochet this way. Chain 1, and then work your line as normal. Now the reason I personally don't like this is because you end up with like this weird, I don't know if you can tell, but it's longer here. When you're looking at your colors, it's sort of messy. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to show you another way, the way that I like to do it. Get rid of that knot completely. And this way can be a little more difficult to figure out, but I think it's totally worth it in the end. So let's say you want to change colors at the end of your row. You'll stop before you get to your last single crochet. You will put your hook in, tuck this away, hang on to it tight because that's what's holding everything together. And instead of doing a knot, you're just going to loop it. You can give it a decently long tail. You're just going to loop it and pull it through, which it looks the same, but there's no knot here. Whoops. Pulling the wrong one. And then you'll hang on to those 2 tails and bring it through both. And yes, the top of the stitch is gray, but now there isn't like this weird long row of a different color here. So we'll chain 1, and then from here, turn, you'll see that we've got 2 tails. Now to take care of this, you'll pull them both tight so that they don't go away. And what I like to do is take those tails, and when you go into your second stitch, you want to make sure that those are up there and now your tails are tucked underneath that single crochet. And of course your stitch marker goes in here. So if you're doing a project where it's just one side that you're going to see, like if you're doing a bag. Your color changes are just going to be smoother that way. Now, if you're doing it where you're going to see both sides, the way to avoid this little messy section here, pull out this first single crochet, would be to make sure that that little tail is on the other side of your work. Whoops. Should probably have a hook in there. All right. So you'll go under that tail, just tuck it up there, go into your first single crochet stitch here. Make sure that that tail is also on there. So it's going to look like this. You've got your actual loop, tail, your V, and your tail. Smush them all together. And then you'll wrap and loop through your first V, have 2 on there, and continue with your single crochet. Pull that little purple tail tight. This one can be pulled a little tighter. Let's do a couple more. So you've got both your tails. You'll make sure they're on top of your stitch. Go into your stitch. Here's your V. Here's your tails. Loop. Pull through. And then pull through the 2. This is single crochet. You'll just keep going until you get to the end. Now, by crocheting with your tails on top of your stitch like this, you're also taking care of your ends. You're not going to have any ends to weave in. And when you look at it, it's just a lot cleaner of an attachment here at the end than when you use that knot method that I showed you in the beginning. So you'll just continue down and just do this real quick so you can see what it looks like. We'll finish this row and then do one more. Make sure your tails are on top. Go into your stitch, pull through, and if you're going to continue with the color that you just added, and you're going to do more than just one row, in this case in purple, then you would just continue into your last stitch, chain 1, turn it, single crochet into that stitch, and replace your stitch marker. But if you're ready to switch back, like if you want to have a couple rows of gray and then a row of purple and then a couple rows of gray, you're going to stop before that end stitch. Pull out your marker, put your stitch into your hook into the stitch. Here's your V of your last stitch that you're marking into. You've got your 2 tails, but you're going to switch from using the purple one to using the gray one. Wrap it and pull it through. Keep those tails on top. Finish your single crochet. Now you have a row of purple and a row of gray. Well, yeah. And then from here, you'll chain 1, turn, and now you're switching your tails. Because this one's so short at this point, I would just ignore it. Take your purple, and instead of having it go this direction in front of you, you want it to go to the other side. Okay, you'll put your hook into your first stitch. Here's your V, and you'll take that tail and put it over your hook, basically making it part of your V. Loop, pull through, finish your single crochet, put in your marker, and then continue into your stitch. Keep that second color tail on top, loop, pull through, make sure that tail is on top, and then finish your single crochet. I'll finish this row really quick so that you can see. And it does use a little bit more yarn if you're not disconnecting and reconnecting throughout the entire project to switch colors. But I just find that this is a lot cleaner. And you don't have to go back and finish weaving in all those tails. And you can always grab onto the end and tug it. And then here's our last one. Got your V's, your loop, tail, put that tail on top, loop, and then finish your single crochet, chain 1, turn. Now at this point, if you're going to do a couple more rows of gray before you add the purple, you're going to want to bring it around front again. Go into your first stitch. Here's your V's, your loop. Put that tail on top. Finish out your single crochet. Restitch. And continue like you did before. Doing it this way also ensures that your next color you're going to use is where you're going to need it to be when you're ready to switch. So if we take a step back and look at it, this would probably be what they consider the wrong side. But if you flip it over, you can see very clearly that we have a nice, clean color change.